Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a story that fans of Consisekleri have dreamed about since episode 1, a story where the line between fiction and real life didn't just blur, it quietly vanished. If you enjoy deep dives that go beyond a single photo or headline, please like this video, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss an update. Thank you, and let's get into it. For months, the chemistry between Yağmur Yüksel and Barış Baktaş has been the heartbeat of a series that refuses to loosen its grip on the audience. On screen, their characters fought, made peace, cracked under pressure, and chose each other again in the spaces between danger and devotion. Off-screen, they did something far rarer in the age of always-on publicity: they kept still. They didn't feed rumors, they didn't deny them. They worked. They delivered. And then, without a single dramatic teaser or Midnight Notes app post, they made the most dramatic move of all. One that belongs to them, not the cameras. Here's what we've pieced together from people who were actually in the room, from the small clues that surfaced after, and from the rhythms of two careers that suddenly, beautifully, fell in step. The setting was not a five-star ballroom or a gilded hotel. It was a restored waterside house tucked along a quiet stretch of the Bosphorus, honey-colored wood, pale walls, hydrangeas at the door, and light pouring in from windows that have seen decades of Istanbul mornings. Phones were collected in velvet pouches at the entrance, not as a power move, but to keep the night from being swallowed by 100 glittering screens. The guest list? Family. A handful of friends who have earned the right to that word. 2 colleagues from the set who know how to stand close without crowding the room. A musician with a classical guitar. A florist whose hands know how to make tenderness out of stems and wire. There was no aisle. There was a corridor of people who have walked beside them long enough to understand the weight of this decision. The vows were short. Not the cinematic kind, but the kind you write the night before because you can't sleep, then rewrite in the morning because love is better when you say it simply. When the moment came, the room didn't cheer. It breathed. It listened. And when the rings were exchanged, it became clear that the fairy tale fans have whispered about was never the point. What happened was quieter, more precise, and more powerful. They chose a life. If you're wondering about the details, because we all do, here are the ones that matter. Her dress was not a gown designed to eclipse the bride, it was soft and architectural at once, with a silk-white column that moved when she did and thin straps that caught the late light. No cathedral veil, just a clean line and a luminous face. His suit avoided the trend of the velvet lapel and the self-conscious flourish. It was a midnight tone that looked black at night and blue in the last seconds of dusk. The boutonniere was a single white freesia, because someone understood that fragrance can be memory's anchor. On the small table where they signed the register, a narrow vase held 3 olive branches: continuity, peace, and the stubborn hope that love, when guarded, can outlast noise. After the signatures, the music shifted. Not the blast of a DJ drop, but the familiar curve of a song that's lived in Turkish homes for generations, the kind people hum as they cook, the kind that makes even the shyest person sway. Not a choreographed first dance, 2 people holding each other in a measured circle that said, without saying it, we made it. We are here. There were not 100 toasts. There were 4. A parent who has watched the years sharpen and soften them both. A friend who met them before the show became a storm. A colleague who knows what it costs to give yourself to a role and still have enough left to give it home. And someone very young, a niece with braids and a trembling voice, who said only, "Please be kind to each other," and sat down to applause that sounded like sunlight. How did this stay secret? Intention. People were invited who know how to carry a secret like a candle cupped in both hands. The caterer delivered to a side door. The musician arrived early and left before dessert. The florist tagged nothing. Even the weather, by some private agreement, held its reign until well past midnight. The house glowed, but not like a set. Like a place where something was finally being put right. By morning, the clues began to surface, not from the couple, not yet, but from the gentle gravitational pull an event like this exerts on a city. A baker's assistant tweeted a photo of a cake box ribbon that matched an arrangement spotted at the venue's entrance the week before. A stylist posted a simple thank you to a tailor known for clean lines and restraint. A driver mentioned the quietest, happiest job of his month. And then, hours later, the first truly meaningful confirmations arrived, not as declarations, but as signals anyone could read. On her page, Yağmur posted a photograph of a small, square table with 2 empty glasses, a shadow of a freesia on the wood, and a caption that read, "Kept promises are louder than vows." On his, Barış shared a close-up of intertwined hands, nothing flashy, nothing polished, and exactly what it needed to be, followed by, "We chose the quiet." No tags. No date. No hashtags. And still, within minutes, the world knew. The reaction was immediate and, for once, mostly kind. Edits appeared that braided together the slow-burn scenes, the nearly imperceptible smiles, the line deliveries that landed like a hand on a shoulder. People who had planned to move on to new shows found themselves re-watching the arcs that taught them to look closely. Not everyone was thrilled, some will always demand a public carnival when a private ceremony would do, but the prevailing emotion was relief. Relief that the story you suspected was unfolding off camera was not a mirage. Relief that tenderness can still keep its composure in an era that monetizes every heartbeat. Industry reaction deserves its own chapter. Contracts have clauses. Brands have expectations. Productions run on schedules that do not care who fell in love. And yet, for the next 48 hours, you could feel something like a protective hush ripple through the people who've worked closest to them. A producer known for iron discipline sent flowers and said nothing else. A network rep with a reputation for squeezing every drop of PR opportunity out of a headline made the rare choice to let this one breathe. On set, there was a briefing, no questions, no winks, no boundary pushing. Work as usual. Guard what matters. Of course, a wedding, especially a secret one, reshapes calendars. There are projects rumored for both that will now need to account for 2 lives moving in tandem rather than parallel. Insiders say this won't mean fewer risks, it will mean smarter ones. If their on-screen pairing returns, it will be because a script deserves them both, not because nostalgia is an easy sell. If they work separately, the respect they've built will make the distance a feature, not a flaw. And something else becomes possible now, too, the confidence to say no. To bad scripts. To hollow offers. To the temptation of turning a marriage into a brand. It's worth asking why this story landed so deeply with so many. Part of it is the long, patient build in Consiseclary, a series that taught its audience to trust a pause, to listen for meaning in the quiet. Part of it is the way they've both carried their careers, with discipline, humor, and a refusal to use chaos as currency. But a larger part is this: we are starving for proof that real life can be as brave and as tender as the best scenes on television. Not louder, just braver. Not flashier, just steadier. In choosing a ceremony without spectacle, in choosing words without performance, they reminded people that love is not content. It's a contract the heart signs in ink no camera can capture. Before we close, a few lingering moments from the night that deserve to be recorded, if only as reminders of how joy behaves when it isn't trying to be seen. A grandmother's ring, warmed between 2 palms before it was placed. A late toast poured not into flutes, but into small, mismatched tea glasses because someone forgot to reorder the crystal. Laughter that started as a human sound and turned into music when the guitarist found it and followed. The door opening, just once, to a rain that finally arrived, and 2 people stepping out together to feel it on their faces. If you've ever rooted for a couple you've never met, this is why. To Yağmur, Yüksel and Barış Baktaş, may your home be as calm as that waterway at midnight, your arguments as short as your vows, and your work as strong as the bond that made you braver than a headline. To everyone watching, you don't need 1,000 photos to believe in something. Sometimes, one quiet evening is enough. If this breakdown gave you a fuller picture than a single frame could, please like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Did you spot any discrete clues we missed? Would you rather see them reunite on screen or choose entirely new roles now that their lives are intertwined? Your thoughts shape what we cover next, and as always, we'll bring you the story with care. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.